Welcome to PE. Today you'll participate in a crew competition challenge, where your goal is to have the lowest combined crew score/points, just like in golf. Why are you learning this? To practice showing encouragement, communication, fairness, and responsibility while working in a team. How will you know if you've learned it? If your scorecard is accurately completed and all teammates have enjoyed themselves. How will you do this? By focusing on being principled, playing fair, being a good sport, doing the right thing, following the rules, and taking responsibility for your actions. You'll play at 5 different types of stations: foot golf, disc golf, ladder ball, beanbag toss, and the almost impossible shot. At the foot golf, disc golf, and almost impossible shot stations, each player gets up to 3 throws or kicks from the mat. If you're unsuccessful after the 3rd attempt, a score of 4 is recorded. At the beanbag toss and ladder ball stations, each player gets just 1 throw. If the bola or beanbag misses the target, a score of 4 is recorded. Each crew will have their own scorecard with a designated scorer. All player names will be listed on the left side of the scorecard. You'll then write players' scores on the corresponding line under each hole they complete. You'll add up all the players' total points to figure out your team total. The crew team with the lowest team total score wins. You'll score 0 on any holes that we do not have time to play today. There are 14 total holes or stations set up around the gym. They alternate from foot golf, disc golf, ladder ball, beanbag toss, and the almost impossible shot. At many of the holes, you'll find cards in the cone flaps that will help you with your skill development. For example, when throwing a frisbee, you'll have your thumb on top, fingers on the bottom. You'll point, cross, step, and flick the frisbee, remembering to keep it flat. At most of the throwing stations, you'll use the underhand throw, remembering to swing, step, and throw while stepping with your opposite foot. You may want to try your overhand throw with your side to your target, L elbow, step, twist, and throw, also stepping with your opposite foot. The visual at the foot golf station reminds you to plant your non-kicking foot next to the ball, bending your kicking leg at the same time as your step, and swinging your kicking foot towards the ball, kicking it with the inside of the foot at the midline of the ball, and then following through. Some reminders while playing include sharing this space with the other class that may join us during the challenge. Remember to place the equipment on or in the deck ring after each use. Don't rush anyone, but don't go too slow since there is a group behind you. This is called rate of play. Look for encouragement, communication, kindness, fairness, and responsibility. And remember, being principled makes it fun for everyone. Here's a video example of other students playing. Here's an example of a scorecard with the players' names on the left, the crew color listed, and the scorer's name listed. In the cone flap, you can see the hole number and the skill cue card. When it is your turn, you'll take the object off of the deck ring and then start to play. The first attempt was missed, so the student gets to take another attempt. If they miss after 3 times, a score of 4 is recorded. But in this case, the student scores 2 on hole number 1. Now it is the turn for the next student to attempt their kicks. This student successfully hits the target on their first attempt, so the scorer notes a score of 1 for hole 1. Now it is time for the scorer to kick. This student also receives a score of 1, so a score of 1 is recorded. Now we'll take a look at a disc golf station and watch how they score their points. Again, the first player takes the object off of the deck ring and attempts their throw from the mat. If it is missed, they take the disc or frisbee back to the mat and try again. If they make it, the second time, a score of 2 2 is recorded. And in this case, this is hole number 2. The score is entered, number 2 at hole number 2. Now it's the next player's turn to attempt her throw. She makes it with 1 throw. So in this case, a score of 1 is given on hole number 2 for that player. Now it's the next player's turn. They set up at the mat. They take their first attempt. The frisbee does not land on the target, so he picks it up and tries again. Does not land into the target for the second time, so he gets a third and final shot. If he makes it, a score of 3 is recorded. If he misses it, a score of 4 is recorded. In this case, he makes it, so a score of 3 is recorded. The item is returned to the deck ring, and they go to the next hole. At the ladder ball station, each player gets 1 throw. If it lands on the lowest level, the player is awarded 1 point for that hole. In this case, it is hole number 3. So the scorer will write the number 1 on that player's row. If the bola lands on the top level, a score of 3 is recorded. If it lands on the middle level, a score of 2. And if the bola does not land on any level, a score of 4 is recorded. As a reminder, a good throw doesn't always result in the best points. In this case, the student has their opposite foot forward, a good swing, throw, and release, but the bolas did not stay on the levels, and a score of 4 is recorded. When everyone in your crew has had their turn, the item is returned to the ring, and you'll rotate to the next hole. At the beanbag toss station, there are numbers on the board to indicate your score. If the beanbag lands between numbers, choose the number that the beanbag is mostly on. In this case, the beanbag was mostly on square number 2, so a score of 2 is recorded. A score of 1 is recorded if the beanbag lands on the front squares, or if the beanbag goes to the back hole. A score of 4 would be recorded if the beanbag misses the target. At the almost impossible shot station, you'll get 3 attempts to throw the ball through the hole. In this case, the student made it on the second attempt, so a score of 2 is recorded. Remember to return to the mat for each attempted throw. If all 3 of your attempted throws do not go through the hole, then a score of 4 is recorded. Now it's time to review and get ready to play.